I ran 48 miles in 48 hours.
48 miles down, 48 miles to go.
Why? From ultramarathons to Guinness World Records, David Goggins is considered by many to be among the world's best ultra-endurance athletes.
18!
And every year he puts on this challenge where he asks all of his fans to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. And this year, I decided that I wanted to do it.
We're in the middle of town, people are still out, clubbing, up there in the club, the pub.
But still, why would you do it? Dr. Jordan Peterson puts it like this.
If you can face something voluntarily rather than having it chase you, it's way better for you psychophysiologically. So, well, it's worthwhile to go find the dragon in its lair instead of waiting for it to come and eat you.
I thought about it like this. Bad things are going to happen in life. So the more uncomfortable shit I can take on before they do, the more prepared I'm going to be. Okay? Okay. This was when I decided on a whim to run 48 miles in 48 hours. In that moment, without really thinking about it, I committed to the run. So right after I messaged my friend, I decided to get training. The 4 weeks I had to prepare myself for this challenge are honestly kind of a blur. So I did squats yesterday, and now I'm gonna go for a run. Because I read somewhere that you're supposed to run on fatigued legs to train for this kind of thing. So that's what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? I remember this run being really hard.
Ain't nobody passing me.
My feet were in a lot of pain, and a quick Google search after the run told me that it was most likely my shoes, my battered 3-year-old running shoes. Despite this helpful information, I thought, I'll just run again tomorrow. It's chill. I got 1 mile in before
My feet, mainly my ankles, are just so painful right now. I think I need some new running shoes.
in the shop, I tried on a few different pairs and got my gait analysed so that we could find the perfect pair for my feet. Just the right amount of support and just the right amount of cushioning. I'd like to say that I agree with what Nicholas Crystal said about trying different running shoes on and that being like test driving cars, but I don't drive. I have played a lot of Need for Speed Underground though, so I kinda get what he means. Once I emptied my bank balance and got my new shoes, I felt like running all the way home, but that momentary buzz I felt after spending money only lasted 2 miles.
This is honestly what I look like after running 3.5 miles. I don't know how I'm going to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 24 hours. I can't even run 4 miles in 4 hours, in 24 hours.
I think we all have moments of self-doubt where we don't believe in ourselves. Right after this, I found that by not identifying with my feelings after I'd expressed them, I felt so much better. Somehow, I just turned my brain off and started running again. That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run. And for the next couple of weeks, I tried to hit 4 miles every day. I wasn't killing myself running, but I kept up my gym routine with a focus on squats and legs in general. And for the last week, I barely ran at all. I was chilling, to be honest with you. I wanted my body to be completely rested before I started living like a maniac. I don't know if that's the best strategy, but it worked out pretty well for me.
Why? You gonna draw it out?
I'd like to draw it out, put it on. This is John, one of my best friends. Over dinner a few days before, and even less prepared than I was, he spontaneously agreed to do this challenge with me. Here we are, putting together our running routes whilst keeping to the British tradition of doing it the night before. I also got a bit carried away with the excitement and employed John's sister Rachel to help me customise my camera.
It begins, John.
Begins 48 miles, 48 hours,
48 years,
double marathon.
48 miles, 48. Don't know why we're doing this. Actually, I do know why I'm doing this. Because
Why
it's
we're doing
going
this, George?
in my cookie jar.
What's your cookie jar, George?
They know what the cookie jar is. Well, and if you don't know what the cookie jar is, here's me explaining the cookie jar. So the cookie jar is... Nah. You can just watch that video after this one, it's chill. The link is in the description below. So anyway, I said goodnight to the Didsburys, and I ran home in the rain.
Good morning. Today is the day that it begins. I slept pretty good, but I don't think you can sleep well enough to do this kind of thing. My bed has never felt so comfortable. But I have to get up now because the first run starts in about 45 minutes. It was nice knowing you. Goodbye. Good morning.
You're ready?
Of course I'm ready. I just got out of bed.
I'm just
I thought I'd give John a quick phone call before I started getting ready, but he didn't stop talking for a long time.
I charged my battery for my GoPro, so I'm just going to test check the space in the memory.
Sweet.
The minute activity setting is 2.7k 60 FPS, and it's got the super view. Because it would be good to do some running through the park as we're going through the park run.
Alright, I'm gonna go. I'll see you at
yeah.
10. That's in 15 minutes.
So for the first run, we ran to this place called Willy Bob's, Williamson's Park.
It begins.
And it was 2 miles there, 2 miles back, so perfect 4 miles. But the first 2 miles was all uphill, so we started hard.
These people out here, 2 miles down, they think they know me. But they don't know me, son. They don't know me, son.
Like, we didn't mess about, we jumped straight into it. I was super optimistic about this run and honestly pretty naive about what was to come, but it was worth it for the view. Just finished the first run. Easiest thing I ever did, mate. Piece of cake. I'm feeling good, honestly. We did the first run this morning. We're about to do the second one, in which we run to Glasson Dock, where I went to primary school as a kid. It's this tiny little village. The school actually only had 30 kids in it, and I was the only kid in my year. We're gonna run there. My sister's gonna pick us up because it's exactly 4 miles to run out there. We're really lucky because we get to run down beside the river the whole way there. Beautiful sort of cycle route.
40 miles to go.
Yeah, I'm excited. My legs are fine. My mind is fine. I had a little nap. I had a bath with lots of salt water. I've eaten a lot of carbs. I'm digging into my collection of sweet treats. And yeah, gotta get dressed and listen to some more upbeat music. And yeah, I was really in the zone for this one. John's feet were killing him because of his shoes. He had these shoes that he'd had since like school, since PE. He'd had them for more than 10 years and they were effectively just cardboard on his feet. And he thought, yeah, no, I mean, I can run 40 miles in these. I, on the other hand, had brand new shoes, so I was perfectly fine. But he was struggling even by this second run.
You're gonna smash this. You're gonna smash this. And everyone at home following along, you're gonna smash it as well.
Doing this, I realised how much of a high running can be, and afterwards I rewarded myself with Lucasade whilst doing some journaling. Rachel joined us for this run. Having another person there definitely made the run more interesting, but I was really feeling it by this point. I think I was naturally getting sleepy because the sun was going down and we'd been outside all day. Watching the sunset sets off a cascade of processes in the human body and signals to us that it's time to sleep. The day is over. And since reading Matt Walker's book on the science of sleep, I've become very sensitive to my circadian rhythms, and getting a good night's sleep is one of my top priorities in life. So getting up to run every 4 hours during the night was going to be pretty heartbreaking to me.
I started distracting myself, getting footage for YouTube and Instagram and on my phone and on the GoPro, and before I knew it, I was really far behind John and Rachel. So I decided to put all my things away and try to catch up to them. But the closer I got, the faster John started to run. So I was just constantly playing this game of trying to catch up to John and Rachel. But eventually I did, and we went back to his house and John cooked up a mean 2-course meal of pesto pasta and mug cakes.
So we went on a run at 2 a.m. after this, and then a run at 6 a.m. That's easy. Imagine doing this for 48 days. 4 miles. For some reason, this was my favourite run. I'd just got over the fatigue of sunset and I couldn't believe how short this run felt. To be honest, it was pretty euphoric, almost like we were on drugs. Everything was so sharp and clear to me. I asked John if he felt the same way and he said, "I feel like shit." I got in and hung out with my dog and my mum for a little bit before trying to sleep. But this was when things started to get difficult.
My head is fried. I know I need to go to sleep, but I just keep scrolling on stuff. I'll never do this. I'm gonna sleep.
So John didn't pick up his phone. And it was already 2:10, so I thought, if I'm going to take this seriously, I've just got to run, whether he's with me or not.
This run is, I'm just feeling tired. My knees are going a bit. I could push harder.
10 minutes into my run, John calls me back. He tells me he's collapsed going to the bathroom and he doesn't think he can join me for this run. Honestly, this was my idea anyways, so no worries if I've got to do it alone. The only thing that was getting to me during this run was the sleep deprivation.
If I don't sleep, which I haven't so far, I imagine the cough will get worse. I don't have any scientific backing for that, but it's just a theory.
And things were getting a little bit wavy. When my phone died, I started running in circles just to make sure I'd run far enough. I was kind of cognitively impaired, but happy. Still happy. And I got home all right. 6 a.m. I can safely say that this was the hardest run.
I'm actually partly annoyed at how fine I feel. My muscles are a bit stiff, but like, I'm not so badly ill that I can't go on. Like, fine, it's 6 a.m. Let's get it.
It started out alright. I was optimistic, but as I went into the countryside, I started to feel this enormous sense of impending doom. My mind was falling apart and my body was following. I couldn't run much, but I kept moving. To make the most of the time, I thought, I'll listen to some Goggins. I'll listen to some of his audiobook. It was a chapter about his relationship with pain during a time when he was told that he would never run again. And as I listened to this, I noticed a horse in the distance moving in this sort of strained, lonely way, and somehow I felt like that too.
This is the roughest I've ever felt on a Saturday morning. And I haven't drank anything except water and Lucozade.
I understood what Goggins was on about. Something turned on in my brain and I fought past my mental block and ran the rest of the way home. I ran straight into bed and slept.
You thought you had me. You thought you had me. Only for a second. I'm back. And so's John. He's back. Here we go.
I don't know if I'd gone for this run if John hadn't called and said he was coming back. We ran down the canal and up to Lancaster Castle to enjoy the view. It was really weird to see other people around and I felt like a corpse, but I knew that I had to ignore that feeling and keep on running. Pain and fatigue became more like data at this point, like notifications. I could ignore them if I wanted to. And by the second half of the run, every step was actually getting easier and easier. I felt that I had broken through my first mental block, and that's what all of this is about anyway. Finding your limit and then carrying on anyway. 28 miles down. Not bad for a Saturday morning.
Had this really nice yogurt with coconut, but then I put too much protein powder in it, and now it's disgusting. But I'm still eating it every now and again so I can get some protein in.
Running shoes are very, very important. Never underestimate the importance of running shoes if you're going to do ridiculously long miles. John does not have good running shoes. He has trainers that he's had for 10 years. And it's like running on cardboard for him. He's in a lot of pain. I'm in practically no pain, except joint sort of muscle stuff, like not actual damage, a little bit of chafing, which I thought was impossible because I got non-chafe pants. But yeah, honestly, I think I'm as protected as I possibly can be with these amazing shoes and Tiger Balm.
Yes! Yes! Hardcore though.
Fuck yeah.
I always thought that Halton, the village that we were running to, was really far away, but running there made me realize how tiny this place I call home really is. Running made me realize that most things are tiny. The things I worry about, the mundane, repetitive things I obsess over, sleep, time, money. At this point, none of it really bothered me. It was as if a weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
Until we finish this run. I don't really know what I'm going to say here. I didn't plan to say anything. Last run I did, we went to Halton, but we had to wait for my sister to come and pick us up, and she got a little bit lost. So we were waiting around for like 15 minutes. I just had a t-shirt and these shorts on, so I got really fucking cold. Then we went to Mackey's, which was amazing, but I got this like iced frappe thing, and that was the only thing I drank at first, and I was already freezing. I just made that way worse for myself. But yeah, feeling a little bit sick. This doesn't feel real. I honestly don't feel like this. I feel like as if this is a dream or something. I had it in my mind that I would finish this, but there's another part of me that just doesn't expect me to finish it, and that part of my mind is just like so proud and confused and shocked this whole time, and the other part of me is just like, we gotta get it done, we said we're gonna do it. Apparently the hardest part is over, the middle. I've got the 6 p.m. run. Alright, we still do have a ways to go. We've got a 6 p.m. run, 10 p.m. run. I feel like the 10 p.m. run's gonna be easier than the 2 a.m. and the 6 a.m. 4 left. 4 runs left. I want to do it. I just want to get out there and do it. I also want my muscles to not be fully seized up. I want to be hydrated. I need to take some electrolytes actually. I'm gonna do that. Warm myself up, hydrate, get the next one done. God bless.
Okay, so after my crisis, I got myself up to run again. I don't really remember what was going on in this run, except that the sun was setting and I was really tired again. I'd lost that enlightenment that I'd felt for the past 2 runs. But the end was in sight and the euphoria started to kick in again. I started to think for the first time, really, that I'm gonna finish this.
What kind of a person does this to themselves? It's 10 o'clock. I gotta go for the... Which... Is this a 10th run? I think this is a 10th run. Go around the uni again. Last time I did this, it was a piece of cake. Last night when I did it, I couldn't believe this was 4 miles. But I have a sneaky feeling that I'm not gonna feel that way this time. It's getting hard to get down the stairs. Okay. Let's get it.
We couldn't have chosen a better run for this time of night. Just like the night before, this run was effortless.
My mind is becoming so much clearer with every mile I go. Because usually I have like At least 10 different things I'm thinking about, just rotating round in my mind. And at this mileage, there are 0 thoughts. It's just steps. I feel like I'm starting to become like an animated character that just always has to have his arms moving, like he's in a game from 1990. Yo, CJ, come on. We gotta get them ballers over here. Yo, we gotta
I'd lost my
sort it
mind a
out
while
now.
ago and everything was just so funny to me. Until John started sprinting the last leg and I tried to keep up. Drenched in sweat, we finished run 10 and I got a nice surprise on my way home.
I'm not fucking joking, I just ran a bit more home. I looked up in the sky at the stars and I saw a shooting star. I saw a shooting star, just the second that I looked up in the sky. Beautiful.
But yeah, I would say to people before this, like, oh, you know, it's fine, you know, it's more of a test of the mind more than anything else. And I didn't know what I was talking about, but that's actually so true. It's me versus my mind, and sometimes John when he's on the runs too, but it's what I'm capable of, comparing myself to myself, no one else. And yeah, euphoria. Why am I doing this? It's a question you have to keep answering, so you better have a fucking good answer. This was the most disgusting run. We ran into town because we didn't want to think about where we were going. I thought, let's just run 2 miles down the road and 2 miles back. Keep it simple. It was 2 a.m. and the clubs were open, and I fit right in with the mad, drunken locals.
We're not the same, I know. Wait. Maybe we are the same. Because I know what you need. I know what you deserve. Exterminate.
And John, as usual, was suffering in silence. When it was done, he hobbled home and I started to feel unbelievably grateful for everything in my life.
Just about to complete second to last run, 44 miles down, 4 miles to go. 3 things I'm grateful for: the Inception soundtrack, how incredible my phone is, and one other thing I'm grateful for is Lucasade, because without this I would literally, feds just roll past. Don't know if you cop them. Without Lucasade, I don't think I would be here right now. And fruit pastels paved the way for my success. And my mum and my little sister. God, there's so many things I'm grateful for. Okay, see you on the flippity flop.
And then I slept like a baby.
Someone is very happy to be joining me on my morning run. Someone who is awfully interested in sticks. Stick boy. I say walk. We're gonna try and run a bit of it, but John's knees are absolutely shot and it's freezing cold, so I don't want to get sick. Hence the coat and joggers. Smashed it, mate. Just got to get to Willy Bob's and back. 48 miles, here we come. I have £1.
You got all this for £1?
Yeah. 48 miles down, 48 miles to go.
These ducks are going insano style.
We're done. Why are you still here? It's over.
Give man some privacy.
I'm trying to chill. There's paparazzi everywhere. This challenge has really made me value time, because I've had at most 3 hours to myself every 4 hours, and that feels like it's gone on forever. But now I have as much time as I want. I have all the time in the world to myself.
Bird's nest.
I couldn't believe I'd done it. I'd been thinking about doing this for years and now I had. I was really happy, but more than anything I was hungry and I was tired. So me and John said goodbye and I went to sleep for a long time. Usually we don't get to decide when life is going to kick us in the face. We don't always have the luxury of being able to avoid the painful things that happen to us. But we can prepare ourselves. We can voluntarily do things that are uncomfortable to make ourselves stronger and more resilient. I've found that success is just as simple as getting out of bed when you feel terrible, planning and preparing yourself for what you're about to do, eating enough to keep you going, and expressing gratitude for the smallest, most mundane things. If I can keep doing all of that, even when I'm down bad, I can probably do anything. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I'll see you in the next one.